it over to Marsha and Danielle.
Thank you.
Welcome everybody to Kind Soup Saturday. I am Deb with KindWorks, and we're so excited to see so many new faces, friends of Marsha and Danielle and friends from Micah, Temple Micah. We're happy you're all here. And today we're going to be cooking a delicious butternut squash chili for the Super Bowl tomorrow, no coincidence. And we encourage everyone to enjoy some for their own family and then to think of ways they want to share it in their community. And we've got on our website some food assistance providers in case you want to drop some off for people who have been supplied with food during these rough last couple of months and who need a little bit of extra food support. So you can choose those places or you can give them to people in your own lives. We'd love to hear about how you use your soups. On our website, there's a link that we call contact tracing for this particular part of the Kindemic. So if you could use that link and send in your information, that would be great. We're only going to be together for an hour, so I will hand you off to Marsha and Danielle, mother-daughter chefs, who are going to lead us in cooking today.
Thanks, Deb. Good to see everybody. And we'll get to talk a little bit more as we cook. So what I'm doing now is I'm just starting to heat up the oil. And the first things that are going to go in are the onions, carrots, and garlic. So once your oil is heated, and I was telling my new friends here about my 12-quart pot that is special for Kind Soups. If you are cooking with normal size pots, you might end up needing 2 side by side.
Of course, we won't know that till we're halfway through.
So, Marsha, how thick were your carrot slices?
Let me just grab a few. They vary, but you know, what I've done, let's see, if we're near the end of the carrot, they're a little thicker, but in the middle of the carrot, not too thick, like a 1/4 inch maybe.
Okay, thank you. Perfect.
With a butternut squash, we try to make them more or less uniform. I'm not really careful with that, but the only thing is that as it cooks, you would just want to make sure that all of it is cooked through, you know, so you have to kind of take the biggest pieces. So, you know, on previous calls, we've talked about our favorite tools, and as we were preparing, I realized that one of my favorite tools is this no-name chopper that I use for everything, and it chops so much faster. We got through, you know, carrots and parsnips and onions and everything in no time, and it's because of the angle of it and, you know, a really long blade. So
Where do you get that thing?
It is decades old, and it survives the dishwasher and everything, but it's just that it's a long blade and you could chop like this and really get the job done.
Has anybody else seen one of those more recently than a long, long time ago?
Does it have a holder?
No.
Okay.
No holder, just.
Well, if you don't find that, we have this knife. It's just like a cleaver, and we bought it. We were in Southeast Asia. We were in Vietnam 2 years ago, and we're, you know, bound and determined to come home with this, you know, cleaver. And it was very cheap, and we were very excited. And then when we got home, we decided, oh, what the heck? Let's look online. It's called Kiwi brand, and it's made in Thailand. And you too can get it from Amazon for just about the same price that we paid for it when we were in Vietnam. And it's a great knife, really a great knife. So good cleaver, good price.
I've had these in a drawer stuck away. I had no idea what to use.
You have both of them.
Use these. Perfect. Oh, and hi, Danielle. My Danielle says hi, Danielle.
Hi.
My daughter found this thing. It's like a scissors, But
Oh, you're muted now. Wait.
sorry, it's like a very sharp blade and like
Yeah.
a little cutting board, and you cut like scissors.
Oh, so what could you put in there that doesn't roll out? Like what?
If you're holding a carrot or if you're holding almost anything.
Oh, so you hold it with one hand and you snip across. I see. Clever. Clever. I want to introduce Julia Kornman and Saren Gant, who are both on today. They're both, hello.
Hello.
GI ducks, my friends.
I muted because I got behind on chopping, so all
Oh.
you're hearing is chopping.
And I want to introduce Pat Goldman, who's in the middle of my screen, also a Temple Micah member. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Pat. So let's see, how are we doing? Yeah, so the onions should be cooked until they're, just softened, basically. I think we're good. We're almost there.
I will put a plug in for this chili that it is literally the only thing I ask for when I come home. So for anyone who is skeptical about the parsnips or anything, it's gold.
What does a parsnip taste like?
So, they're very interesting. They're bitter. You taste them raw, but they really get sweet. So they're a mainstay in the chicken soup that, I've made forever. And you could make a puree of it. It kind of tastes sweet when it's cooked. Don't taste them raw. They won't taste good.
Just roasted them the other night, high heat roasted them, and they were really yummy.
I do a recipe of butternut squash, carrots, and parsnips. I think it's from the Barefoot Contessa, which is a wonderful mixed roasted vegetable. And then you can puree it with vegetable broth to make a soup, which, was quite wonderful too. So.
So now that we're on Zoom, I can't see the recipe anymore. So you're going to have to tell us.
Yeah, so our onions are just about softened. So we're going to now add all the tomatoes, butternut squash or potatoes, and parsnips.
Marsha?
So that's where, I'm sorry.
Just to confirm, you added the carrots already, right?
Yes, that was in the first one. And I'm sorry, Leslie, what was that?
So we're doing the parsnips, the squash, and all 4 cans of tomato stuff.
Yes,
Marsha,
yes.
can you hear me? It's Alma.
Hey, Salma, yeah. Mhm.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Did I miss this? But what is a good substitute for the parsnips?
More. I'm just laughing because we were talking about this before you got on. Someone's using potatoes, rutabaga or turnips were listed, or I would just say more carrots, maybe.
Or sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes are great. Yeah, yeah.
I got home and realized I didn't have any chili powder, so I had to look up how you make chili powder. And thankfully I had the ingredients, so.
So what goes into it? I guess curry? No?
Oregano, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder.
Hey, what makes it red?
The paprika,
That
and
makes-
something else that I'm forgetting.
Wow. That was
Quite a
like
lot of ingredients, so who knows how it's going to taste.
It was like a whole recipe before you even started.
Yeah.
My mom had a friend who used to say, if it has ingredients, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's scary to have that many ingredients on the list. So like Sharon, if you had seen that many ingredients, you probably would have said, forget that, right? But then you ended up
I
doing.
did, I know, exactly. That's what happened. I looked at all the ingredients and then Julie went out shopping for me.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
Now we'll have 2 households with chili.
I love that this recipe's got cocoa powder because my favorite chili that has meat in it is like a cocoa powder base.
Oh, okay.
So are we going to add some cocoa powder? It sounds good with it.
Yeah, after when the chili powder goes in a little bit later. And I used to have a pre-mixed jar of cocoa chili, so I didn't really know how to make it. So I've looked it up and I think we'll add a few teaspoons of unsweetened chili powder at a time. I mean, sorry, unsweetened cocoa at a time and just taste it and see how it goes. So if we mix these last few ingredients that went in, the tomatoes and all, and you just want to stir through so that everything is in some sort of liquid.
Let the waffles to heat back up.
Yeah.
How big a pot is everybody else using?
Yeah, I have a 12 quart. It's a lot of stuff.
David, my size is too small. I've just discovered.
We're using 8 quart and we're trying to decide whether that's going to be too small. It all fits so far, but by the time we add the beans, I'm not so sure.
Yeah,
Veggies are cooked down.
I bit the bullet and went and bought myself a new KindSoup soup pot because every week you're like worrying if it's going to fit or not. So I'm enjoying my new pot today.
I can't believe we're having this discussion. Every week I cook in 2 pots, as you know. This week I decided, oh, it's all going to fit into one. So you're telling me maybe not so much? Thanks.
Yeah, it would be close.
Doing 2 as well.
Deb, what did you get? What kind of pot did you get, Deb?
I got a Cuisinart. What did you get?
Denise knows what I got because whatever she told me to get is what I got. And I'm not good with names. Denise, what did I get?
I want to say Tramontine. Starts with a T. I think that's close enough.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Big,
On Amazon.
beautiful pot.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed it. It's nice to eliminate that stress, that is it going to fit stress.
Yep.
Well, we'll see.
If we have to, we'll get out our big soup pot.
Yeah, we've got a
Dump it
big,
all there.
really cheap soup pot that's like the Passover soup pot and, you know, the Thanksgiving or whenever we're having 1 million people. But I'm not so sure about my Farberware right now.
Also the soup pot.
Oh, yeah, the applesauce pot. That's right.
No idea how big my pot is, so I'm just being adventurous and trusting it's all going to
How big is it?
So bring it to a boil and then we'll simmer it, bring it back down to simmer.
You put a lid on it, Marsha?
I think we will now. Yeah, but just the only thing is that as it cooks, try to scoop up from the bottom, but to avoid, burning whatever's at the bottom of the pot.
Right. You haven't added the chili, have you?
No.
Okay.
No, the chili and the corn and the beans goes in later after 20 minutes of this.
Marsha, when it says bring it to a boil, what are we bringing to a boil? What have we put in?
The tomatoes, all the pureed tomatoes and the juices that are with the chopped tomatoes.
I have so many fresh tomatoes, so I was going to use those.
Oh, yeah. So this recipe doesn't add any other liquid. So if you do that, you probably need, maybe either broth or other canned tomatoes that do have
Okay.
liquid.
I'll do a mix.
Yeah, 'cause This recipe originally called for just the one can of tomatoes. I don't know. And I always found that I didn't have any liquid to coat everything with. So I increased it to the 2 different kinds of tomatoes, and that works out well.
So Marsha, is this the time where we make cocktails?
Yeah, right. We should have planned ahead. I didn't think of it.
20 minutes is enough time. There you go.
True.
Make Andrew.
So should we have this covered at this point, or we have to get it to a boil first?
Yeah, either way. And now ours is simmering, and yeah, what I would do is maybe partially, mostly cover it just to keep the flavors in, but I wouldn't keep it completely covered.
So I have a question about that. When you said to keep the flavors in, so if the pot is uncovered and it's simmering away and it's aromatic, is it actually losing flavor?
I guess, that's a point. I guess you're losing liquid and maybe condensing it more. Yeah, maybe you're not losing flavor. I don't know.
They intensify it.
Right.
Twenty minutes. Okay.
So we took it down after boils, right?
Yeah. So we'll simmer for 20 minutes.
Kind of boiling on the edges. The counter will on be boiling.
Yeah, I know. Plus que ce là.
I just wanted to see the rest.
Marsha, do we drain the beans?
Yes, drain and rinse the beans. And drain the corn as well. If you're using corn.
Oh, shit. Get off the big pot, David.
What is it?
Why you rinse beans?
What's it?
Why do you rinse beans?
I rinse them to get the salt off if they've been salted at all.
Guess what we're taking out? We're taking out a bigger pot. No way are we gonna fit this in. I forgot about the corn.
Me too. I have a 7.5 quart. And I'm in the process of transferring stuff.
We're taking out the 16 quarts, which should be good.
Oh, you'll be more than good. That'll be fine.
You want to?
Good.
Marsha, how much corn?
I use 2 cans for the whole double recipe. So like,
Mine's frozen, so
It's 2 pounds.
it says 2 pounds for the whole double recipe. So
I had a 4-pound bag, which is partly used, so I'm just trying to figure out.
okay, you know what? The can is, I would say a cup per can. So let's say 2 cups total.
Perfect, thank you.
2 cups in the whole recipe, yeah?
Maybe more. It's
okay. We got plenty.
Bag of frozen, which is 2 pounds, is about 5 cups, 5.5 cups.
And do you think that that's too much to have?
That's 2 pounds, which is what the recipe calls for.
okay, whatever it says. If that's, I just don't know the measurements because I always use the cans. So there you go.
I've never used parsnips before. Is this like 4 to 6 of these? These look really big to me.
That's a big one. So
4.
you know, 3 or 4, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a few that were just this big, so you kind of mix and match. Yeah, so you would peel them like a carrot and then cut them the same way.
I think 16 quarts will do it.
I think we'll look good.
I think it's really hard to dice a lot of parsnips because they're very big at the top and then they get very scrawny at the bottom. So it's a irregular shape, at least for my
Yeah, you're right.
my parsnips.
Yeah. What I do usually is with the bigger slices, then I just have them or quarter them so that it's not, they're not too huge.
On the toppings, most of them aren't going to freeze well. So if you're freezing this and taking it to somebody to a drop-off point, it doesn't seem reasonable to put the toppings on.
Oh.
Yeah. So what even though it's not ideal, it doesn't really pay to baggy up a little bit of toppings. So you do the best you can. And sadly, they won't have the toppings, but they'll have a delicious chili.
Okay,
and if you're giving it to someone personally, that's a time when you might want to just give a little bit of, but not to the food assistance providers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Are we freezing this before we deliver it, or are we?
Yeah, it's best to deliver whatever you want to the organizations that we've arranged with frozen. It gives them a whole lot more flexibility. So yeah. And it'll save a disaster in your car too, which is nice.
I thought about that.
What people have suggested before is when you fill up your containers and then maybe sprinkle some cilantro or something on top. I haven't tried that, and then you freeze it like that so that there's something.
With some of the soups, I've just cooked with cilantro in it rather than wait and sprinkle it as, the next best thing. I don't know how you feel about it in this one. I think I'd throw the cilantro right in.
Sure. Yeah.
I have been cooking and putting this cilantro on top or cheeses on top, extra cheese sometimes before I freeze the soup, and it comes out just fine.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll do that. Put some cheese.
The only problem with putting the cilantro on top is to some people, cilantro has a soapy taste. It's apparently something. I would do that if I didn't know who was getting the soup.
A little bit we're here to feed people who are food insecure, but a little bit we're here to extend people's palates. I'm kidding.
With a borscht.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't have the cilantro, you can leave it out, right?
Yes, that would be perfect.
Yeah, the borscht, right? That was one of the dishes that Dominique, right, had to convince us, and it was delicious. So
yeah. The borscht, and also the wild, what we made, wild rice.
Yeah.
We don't put the spices.
And Denise, last week's Thai soup was unbelievable.
It was
I'm
amazing.
glad you liked that one.
It was so good.
Good. I'm glad.
Very spicy.
Is that recipe on the website? I wasn't involved last
It is.
Yes, all of them are.
Great. So I wanted to say hi. I'm Lisa, and this is the first week joining you guys.
Hi, Lisa. Welcome.
Welcome.
How'd you hear about us?
So I was fishing around your website actually for other activities, actually looking for something potentially for my Girl Scout troop to do. And I'm not sure if they want to do this, but anyway, I came across this and I love doing this kind of thing. So I thought I'm doing it and I'll share it with them.
Well, we're glad. We're actually going to do a separate KindSoup for a Girl Scout troop in Sandy Spring, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
so
great.
That should be fun. So yeah, think about if they want to do one or they want to just join us, which would be great. But nice to have you here. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So since Lisa's new, and I know there's lots of other new people on today, feel free to just use your space bar and tell us which soup you have loved. So we heard so far that the Thai soup last week was delicious and the wild rice soup. What else have people loved?
I like lots of it. I really like the Chilean
Yeah.
You know what the Chilean soup was?
Mhm.
Vegetable, maybe?
The chicken tortilla was delicious.
Agreed.
I have to say my two favorites though were the soup from last week, that ginger, Thai, carrot, whatever it was, sweet potato, whatever it was. And I don't like carrots. So that was a big deal for me. But I didn't expect to like that. That was very good. And the wild rice I like because it has portobellos in it.
Marge, your list of things that you don't eat is shrinking.
Hey, Mark, didn't we also have peanut butter in that recipe?
Yeah.
last week?
Yes.
But you were saying that you didn't care for peanut butter.
I never.
That's what I'm saying.
Never eat peanut butter. But the peanut butter is so reduced and overpowered by the carrots that, yeah, I didn't have a problem with the peanuts in the soup. I was surprised because I thought I would. Obviously, if you have peanut allergies, you couldn't have it. But I thought it was really, really good. And I've been experimenting with other soup recipes, hoping that we could come up with one. And I cooked a soup last night that was great.
Yeah.
It was like an egg drop soup with spinach in it. Only we'd really have to adjust the quantities. I thought it was unbalanced. So I'm thinking about what I would do to make it different. More spinach, more cheese, maybe less liquid.
Although it was not pretty, I was a big fan of the lentil soup, lentil with spinach,
Oh, yeah.
which I shared with some of my South Asian neighbors, and they really appreciated, but a vegetarian, and it was great.
The dal. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's probably about time, if your soup has been, or chili has been cooking well, we could add the corn, the beans, and now it's time we're gonna have to experiment with the chili powder and the cocoa powder.
Okay.
So just a question on that. I mean, I feel like my squash is still quite hard.
Yeah. So just keep going. Yeah, just
To hold off putting
Yeah.
other stuff in
Yeah.
yet? Okay.
So it's going to cook for another 20 minutes, a little bit more along the way. So it doesn't need to be fully cooked yet. When you add the next ingredients.
Question about when we're adding the chili powder, that it's not we're not blooming it when we do the onions. I was surprised about that. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, this is just the way we've been doing it, but I suppose it would work the other way too. But anyway.
Those of you who are new, if you're way behind, so am I. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, just, and it may take no, actually, we might finish on time. But for those who are new, we usually turn off at 6, but then, you just keep cooking if you need to.
Is this the right kind of cocoa?
If it says unsweetened, I can't read what it says on the silver.
Yeah, it's unsweetened.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I frequently throw chocolate chips into my chili. I make Cincinnati chili, and I throw chocolate chips and a little bit of cinnamon in there.
That sounds so good.
Oh.
Marsha, I have one of these that says 100% cocoa and one of these that says special dark. What would you suggest? Which would you suggest?
Why not the special dark?
It's sweet.
The special dark is sweeter?
It's no sweetness.
Are you sure? Does it have sugar? The special dark? Shouldn't.
Yeah, it does.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Very exciting news. It all came into my pot. I must have a 12-quart pot and didn't know it.
What is that?
Yeah. Well, my eyes don't see as small as reading ingredients anymore, so I can't answer your husband on that one.
Well, the one that says unsweetened is, I guess.
Yeah.
I actually think they just changed the packaging recently.
that
Maybe the
makes sense.
same.
They both say 100% cocoa.
Yeah, I think my daughter told me, I think they recently changed the packaging.
That Maya,
I think it was Annie, my other daughter.
Oh, okay. Then both your daughters are brilliant. Okay.
So are we going to do 1 tablespoon cocoa and 1 tablespoon of chili powder?
So what I would do, I usually make it not too spicy, so I would add just 1 tablespoon of chili. And I tried it out with a smaller recipe. I think I'd start with like 2 teaspoons of cocoa, and then I think it may be able to take a little bit more than that.
When they're
Just
out
keep,
of dates, don't
taste it after a
turn them
little
away
bit.
because of the dates. And this was the whitest I could find.
Would you say hello to everybody?
Oh,
We scared them away.
To some extent, this is a lot about personal taste once we get to how spicy and how sweet. But, the idea is that it's just another kind of aspect to the flavor. It's not to taste like cocoa. But, chicken mole, right, is great. And all the chocolate and chili things are great. Mexican chocolate. So good combination.
And so you do not use, Marsha, the adobe chilies? Is that what you said in your notes?
I don't, right.
Because that's another way, I think we talked in another recipe of kind of deepening the flavor, but not everyone likes the smokiness.
Well, I put it in, I'll let you know how it goes. I did like 2. And
I'm using 2 because I have it in the fridge, left over from our last time.
Yeah,
Right. What? So you're using 2 tablespoons?
No, 2 chilies. They're kind of like little whole chilies in the can. And I
Oh,
split it
right.
open and I scrape out the seeds so you get the flavor, but not the heat. Because
Okay.
it gets so spicy.
Okay.
Otherwise.
Can, that's why I couldn't find them in the grocery store.
And I, when I open up a can and I don't use it all, which I never use it all because it's a little much, and we like spicy, I just freeze them in individual, little Ziploc bags, and with some of the sauce. So I've got, some sitting in the freezer, and it works out great, as opposed to trying to use all of them up at one time. So. Okay.
Marsha, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
It's so thick. And was there more liquid? I feel like every time I add, it's just this hunk of stuff and there's not much sauce.
It's full, it's hearty.
So it'll cook down, hopefully.
Where are we? There we go.
Okay, that's what mine looks like.
Yeah. So, you could always, I guess, add a little broth. It'll take some taste away, but
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something.
Yeah, no, it used to, the original recipe was even thicker, and I needed something. So I like this consistency. So but it is hearty to be sure.
Be great to serve with cornbread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm doing.
Oh, that's what we should do, is say what you like your chili with. I kind of like even bread torn up, like stale bread, or a grain under it. But my daughter's a purist, right?
Plus enough cheese for a few people.
I would do some brown. I would do some brown rice with it. Serve it over brown rice. That could be good.
Chopped fresh onion for the top and a little like Mexican cheese and maybe even a dollop of sour cream.
Sour cream's
We
good.
used to do that.
Yeah, we used to do that. Yeah.
I'm so glad we did the larger pot. This would not be fun to clean.
This thing was amazing for putting carrots and parsnip. You're right. This thing is great. I think it came with a cheese set that we have somewhere.
David.
Hello, Sherry and David.
Hello, David.
This is my husband, David Wentworth.
Hi, David.
He's not cooking.
No.
Sometimes he peels carrots.
Hi, David.
Hi, everybody. Smells great.
So, the nice thing about this group is that we always get new ideas from each other. I've used gotten utensils that I never had, big pots, everyone's shared their special, their utensils that make life easy. So anyone else with any ideas, chime in.
I'd love to hear where people have been taking their soup and what people's reactions have been that you've been sharing soup with. It's always fun to hear. Anybody have stories?
Okay. I had some borscht still in my freezer, and I have a friend who's from Vietnam, and I wanted to bring them soup because one of them had not been well and had lost a parent. So I said, I have this borscht, or I have, the Thai soup. And she said she loves borscht. So, I gave some away there. And I think the group Here to Help is just unbelievable. These, young students who created this evidently to help food insecure students at the time that they were at Whitman. And now they said they've served 3,500 people in the community.
Wow.
With COVID, right? Isn't that what she said when she was on the day? Unbelievable. So she is located in Chevy Chase, not far from Little Falls and River. It's just down one of the streets there. And she usually collects soup just between 2 and 3:10 on Sundays.
I'm going to chime in. Adat Shalom Synagogue did a soup swap this afternoon where 30 or 40 people brought soups to swap and some to donate through KindWorks. And I just brought 60 soups and left them in front of Here to Help in front of her house. She had a crate set up for our 60 soups. So that's going out tomorrow. But I know they have at least 70 families that they drive. At least that's what I had heard last time. She said they would not be oversubscribed, but they are well on the way for 60 soups so far.
And you're cooking again.
I didn't cook. I just transported.
Is that address on the website?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Here to Help address in
Okay.
Caseland.
Got it. Thanks.
And where does the soup go from? I was thinking of going to that location to drop off. Where do
they have families that they have subscribed? I'm not sure. I imagine that they're relatively local. It seems that all the food assistance providers kind of serve the communities and around them, but I don't know for sure.
They actually they drive them. I don't know to where, but it's not like a food distribution. They have them packaged up with groceries and some other non-perishables and some perishables, some produce. And you're always welcome to drop off other things. You can there or up to Black Rock, whenever you're going up bringing soups, they always need lots of other things, food and basic need essentials.
Yes, they collect produce from farmers markets on Sundays, things that haven't been sold. So they include that in their box of things that they share. And in terms of identifying families, families sort of identify themselves and they don't question who or what the need is. If a family comes to them and says that they need some help right now, they'll add them to their database of people that they deliver to weekly.
I know at Black Rock, when I delivered to there, it was early in the soup making, and the second time I delivered, the first time they looked at me a little bit like they didn't know what to do with it, and the next time they said, "Oh my gosh, people are loving this," and they're getting walk-ups who they're actually sit down and serving right there, even though it's not supposed to be a walk-up facility, and they just use the soups to do that too, which I thought was just really wonderful.
Do people put any personal notes on the soup? Like I would like to just say a sentence or something nice to somebody.
Mostly people don't, but you sure are welcome to.
I put a heart and a smiley face.
I've been doing something similar. I also have been listing out all the ingredients, and then I thought to myself, maybe the people that this is going to don't read English. So I wondered if I'm wasting my time.
Does anyone know if this is a quart size?
That is.
It is? Yay.
So one thing is that the labels should say kind soups, and because I don't think they take soups from like just random people coming by. So it should say kind soups on it. And, in this case, it should probably say how spicy it is, a little, not spicy or very spicy or somewhere in between, just to, and I don't think there's anything in here that would be a surprise really in terms of allergens. I mean,
no, I think I would mark it vegan just so that people who are vegan or vegetarian have that comfort.
Did you end up adding kosher salt or not?
I haven't. I usually taste it around now, and from my, I never paid attention to how much I used to add, but I was thinking that for this size, I would add 1.5 teaspoons, and then you could judge more or less depending on, well, not less, but more depending on your taste.
I was wondering whether you can put the template for the stickers that go on the soup that looks so lovely online, so we could download that and print our own stickers to put rather than just what I do, which is a piece of paper that I tape on there. Deb,
So
you have a thought?
Liz, our chef next week's name is Liz Charter, and she is creating a template for us. And I texted her to see if it was ready for today, but I don't have it yet. So it'll go on the website as soon as we have it, and it'll definitely be up by next weekend.
And maybe my printer will be also, so thank you.
I came in a little late. Are there any special requirements about travel tomorrow? And where to drop off and hours changing?
No, we have no weather-related changes yet. Check the website before you head out, because whatever we learn, we'll put up on we'll put up on the main soup page, because today's recipe gets bumped to previously made soups.
Okay, but Deb, the Chevy Chase address, is that back to 2 to 3 o'clock?
Yeah, 2 to 3:15. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And because I'm late, is there anything that we discovered about this recipe that needs special care?
I don't think so. It's really just in figuring out the taste in terms of.
Well, you might want to mention the cocoa powder.
Yeah, so with the cocoa powder, I'd probably add a little less than what you add of your chili powder, and then taste it and fix it up. But I looked it up on some website, and for this size dish, it would be 1 to 4 tablespoons of cocoa. But I ended up with just about a tablespoon of cocoa when I tried it out. I never really measure, so I had to measure just for this.
So if I don't have cocoa powder, what do we think? Someone was saying dark chocolate, or should I just not put any in?
I bet that would work. It would sweeten it up, and add the cocoa. Or not.
You gave us the recipe without cocoa powder, and I made it several times. It's delicious.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I don't have cocoa powder either. I'm gonna leave it as is.
I just added the corn, and it's beautiful. Like it's so colorful. I just love the way it looks.
Good. Yeah, and it does get a little bit more liquidy, Heather. I don't know if yours has, but I see as it's cooking, it's It's looking thinner.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you, because mine still looks kind of thick.
Yeah.
Whether or not I should add some liquid.
Yeah, we've been letting it at a, a medium, kind of low medium boil, and it is getting thinner. I've never
Can you
had
show
to add,
a picture?
yeah, I've never had to add more liquid on top of what the recipe.
Ah, okay, okay. Got it, thank you.
But it was thicker before, so, I think maybe let it cook for a bit before you add any liquid.
So how are we supposed to label the containers? We want the name of the organization and
Yeah, it's all on the website. It's, we'd like you to have today's date, your first name and last initial, KindSoups, Butternut Squash Chili, and vegan. If yours comes out especially spicy,
One in Dad's office, one in your office, and what happened, all that. Oh, and one down there. And now we have like 2.
Kelly, can you mute yourself for a second? Oh, you are muted. It's not you. I don't know why. Anyway, I think David was asking the date, the type of soup you're making, that it's KindSoups, your first name, last initial, and vegan. And then if yours comes out particularly spicy at all, I'd label it spicy. If it's pretty mild spice, then I think you're good to just leave it as is.
Okay.
It's all on the website if anybody needs a refresher.
You got all that there?
And I just put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Just remember, if you throw cheese in at the end because you want to give them cheese, that it's no longer vegan, it becomes vegetarian.
Good point. If we're taking it to someplace not, there's a place right near me that will take it. I checked with them that they would take homemade soups, but they're not one of the ones on your list or on your website. Do you still want us to use the same labeling, or does it not matter as much?
I guess it doesn't matter as much, but Miriam, if you don't mind, and you want to share with me where you're taking it and what they say about taking it, I'll just add it to our website.
Yeah, I emailed them. It said Venice Community Services.
Okay.
Here, I'm in Silver Spring.
That's fantastic. If they are, when you drop off, do you mind getting in touch with me and letting me know how it went? Because people in Silver Spring would love another alternative.
I will, and I'm sorry, tell me who you are.
I'm Deb Lang, and I'll put my email in the, there's so many new people on today. If you guys are interested in joining us and subscribing to our monthly newsletter, it's on the bottom right-hand side of our website, your email address, first and last name, that's it. And then we've got other great ways to get involved in the community. We refurbish computers and give them to students and families to ensure that everybody can stay connected for their education and employment. What else do we do? We support the consolidation hubs in a whole host of ways, all kinds of great ways to help out in the community. So we welcome all of you to join us and subscribe if you want, or just come back and cook soups with us, whatever works.
Deb, are you taking any furniture donations now since you're not?
Yeah, unfortunately, we aren't. We just can't bring people together, and it doesn't make any sense to collect and hold on to stuff, and it breaks our hearts. Yeah.
Deb?
To that point, I'm sorry, on the furniture donations, if people are really looking, if you have something, remember a wider circle.
Yeah.
I'm sure you folks know about that. They are taking, if you're going on the weekend, you make an appointment during the week, you can just drop off.
Deb, do we write to you if we know a family that could use a computer?
Absolutely.
In Virginia?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Lainey. Especially if you know them, anybody should get in touch with us if they know of a need.
I tutor their son.
Perfect.
Hi, Deb.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm getting on very late tonight because I had a meeting, but I did make my soup earlier. Well, it's still cooking. I don't know if everyone else is having this problem, but the butternut squash, after like an hour, is still hard. Have you talked about this already?
No, Marsha?
No, ours is, we just tasted it actually, and it's still got a little solid part to it, but it's cooking. Is yours kind of at a slow boil?
Yeah, I have one of those intermittent intermittent burners. Thank you. And my other burners are really, really powerful. So I always put soup on the intermittent one. Otherwise it boils over. So it just takes longer. It's not like it's not, I'm going anywhere. I think it's fine. It's just taking longer than normal for butternut squash.
Yeah, because normally it takes about, a good 40 minutes, maybe 45. So yeah,
okay.
It probably isn't out of the question, but it probably is the intermittent burner that you don't have that's, constant.
Yeah. I use those Adobe peppers, and boy, it's spicy.
Leslie, Heather, Julia.
Ooh.
Who else do I recognize? Sarah and Gant.
Hi, Jerry.
Hello, folks.
By the way, the sweet potato cooked up pretty quick.
I just made a delivery to someone and I'm back. Oh, Howard just popped in and there's Saren. Hey, folks.
Hi.
It's okay. I'm balancing out this dinner with the friends picking up barbecue brisket and chicken. So I've got the veggie and I've got the meat. I'm good for this evening.
He went out to pick up barbecue for tomorrow, but I want you to know that before he did, I gave him a taste of this, and Marsha, he gave it the seal of approval.
So does that mean he's going to have the barbecue in addition, or just he's going to have this solely?
He's probably going to have this tonight, or it's going in my freezer for during the week.
Sorry if you've already covered this as well, but in terms of tomorrow, the delivery, the Chevy Chase delivery, is that it's on? Okay, good. Thank you.
I have a question about the corn.
Yeah.
I've cooked recipes in the past where it specifically said don't use sweet corn, and the store I went to only had sweet corn. Am I going to have a problem with sweet corn in this recipe?
No, I'm pretty sure I always use sweet corn too.
You should bring it the extra over here and I'll eat it.
Okay.
I'm the taste tester for a lot of her recipes.
Yeah, I don't know. This one just says whole kernel corn, but I'm sure I've used sweet corn before, so I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't use creamed corn, but sweet corn I think would be fine.
I wouldn't use feed corn either.
Did we decide to cover it or not cover it?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could do either, but I think we did half and half, actually. I think the first 20 minutes we did mostly covered, and now it's just, we're watching it, so I have it uncovered.
So before, we only have a few minutes left and everybody knows they're going to keep on cooking until theirs is cooked down. I just wanted to make sure if you haven't had a chance to check out the Lady Doc's Corner Cafe, there is such a wealth of fun, interesting information on there. Honestly, take a few minutes while your soup is cooking down after we all hang up. Exercise, like there's the information and tips about the vaccine, about COVID-related behavior. I mean, there's so much information on there besides this fabulous recipe that I recommend bookmarking it and spending some time with it, maybe during the snow tomorrow.
Right. Thanks, Deb. Yeah, that was my baby, and there some of my fellow Lady Docs on there, but it started, I don't know how many years, 7 years or so ago, we started exercising outdoors together, and Tu Tran, one of the OBGYNs, used to write us, page-long emails that was supposed to just say where we were exercising on Saturday, but they went on from, she was a French literature major, and they went on from poetry to songs and then people would write back and say, but where are we exercising? So, everyone convinced her she should start a blog. And so we started this website, and then we added, Julia does all the book reviews, and we added recipes and exercise and nutrition, and, you know, it just kind of, when you say something grows organically, it really just kind of blossomed. So it's been fun. It's our, you know, it's a labor of love, and it keeps us all together. And Saren's written some articles for us too on GI stuff, and it's been fun. And yeah, there's loads on COVID, I must say. It's been our life, but hopefully
It's awesome.
we're at least
You know
seeing-
how I love playing in the chat, so I've given you all the link to both the page that has Marsha's posts as well as the main website for Lady Docs. So click on it before we hang up and you can look at it later.
I wanted to tell people, the new people mostly, if you want to deliver your soup to my house sometime Sunday or Monday before 10:15, I live in Carderock. So if you live near Carderock, I will take the soup up to Black Rock for you on Monday. So if you, I'll type my email in so you have it.
Do we have any sense of all the places that have been offered to deliver it, where the need is the most urgent?
No, no. Many of the places that, especially the ones that are remaining on our list now, are food assistance providers that are donating to families who are indeed food insecure. The women's shelter has enough food for now, so we temporarily took them off. Shepherd's Table has chefs, and they cook for people who, you know, are mostly living on the street. So the need there is great, but they have food sources. So we took them off now. So no, all the 4 or 5 that remain on our list right now are all greatly needed, and their turnaround time is within a day. It's going to go from when you drop off and reach somebody within a day or 2. So.
I've got a question.
Yeah, I have another question too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I wanted to ask, oh, sorry.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, there's no, if it takes us several days to get it to somebody, it doesn't really matter, right?
No,
if it's
no,
frozen,
it
we can
matters
bring it
not
in.
at all. You could deliver next week if you want to. It doesn't
Okay.
matter at all.
So I didn't realize you had taken off Shepherd's Table, so there's actually no Silver Spring drop-off point?
Somebody was just telling us about a Silver Spring location. Can you speak up again, whoever it was?
Miriam.
Miriam, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, at Venice Community Services, I emailed them earlier this week and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Can I bring you homemade food? And he said, yeah, how much? And so, so we'll take it over on Monday and see. It's on Sligo Avenue between Fenton and Piney Branch.
Okay, yeah. Adventist Community Services, that's what it's called.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know if you can see where I am, but I'm actually in Rock Creek Park. And one of my neighbors and I have been kind of watching, there's someone living back here. And I'm actually here testing the sodium chloride levels. But we were talking today about it's very probable this person is going to be able to get food at some place like this Shepherd's Table on a regular basis. Is that right?
Yes.
Great. Okay, good. I'll stop worrying.
Well, they need to know about it is the problem.
Okay, so this is Bethesda, and is it a reasonable walking distance?
No.
No, you know, there's a Bethesda Cares. There are different places, but honestly, yeah, I you know, maybe Lynn, if you're going to make soups, you want to bring a container of soup out to the person. I don't know, but all of the food places that are on our list, and there are more, aren't asking questions anymore. If they say people come in and say they're hungry and they want food, they're going to get food without questions being asked.
Well, apparently he's thriving and doesn't, I mean, it sounds like the friend of mine that's approached him is suggesting that he's kind of listening when there's offers of help, but at the same time kind of shying away from anything that sounds like shelter. So I guess I get it.
Yeah.
So we still have some cooking to do on our butternut squash, so not
we?
surprising if you all are not done yet either.
Nope, not even close.
Are we supposed to have the beans in yet?
Yeah,
No? Okay.
yeah, the beans, the corn, and the chili.
Okay.
I made that recipe a few days ago, and I cook it about 1 hour longer to get the squash cooked enough. And today I reduced the size of the butternut squash dice. So it might be a little faster, but still it took me about 1 hour and 20 minutes last time I made it to be completely cooked. But it was delicious.
Yes, Marsha,
It was
that's
worth
good.
it.
It's good to know. Yeah, yeah, my squash is still hard too, but we just keep simmering it and it will get soft eventually.
Okay, so if my liquid isn't covering my vegetables, does that make a difference? Like it'll eventually get down there?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
So my liquid isn't like coming close to covering my vegetables.
Oh,
So should I just keep adding a little bit of liquid then?
yeah, I would if it's not even covering. Yeah. You could either add more chopped tomatoes from the can because it, the liquid in that helps, or I guess just add a little bit of broth. And you might have to add extra chili powder, but that would be fine.
And this was definitely a 2-pot operation for me. A lot. So it's going to be far more than 5 quarts. I'm pleased to see. That's really nice.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Before we all hang up, 2 things. One thing is I'm looking through who's on, and we have the famous Dr. Tu Tran on today.
Did she join us?
She's muted, but she's on. That's exciting. Here
You know what? I was the recipient of Marsha soup this morning.
Oh! How have you been? We haven't seen you in a long time.
Great.
Good.
And I actually told Marsha that I'm thinking about signing up and show you how to make the classic Vietnamese chicken soup, chicken rice.
We would love that.
It's very easy, and it's it's wonderful for the winter time. So I was thinking about doing that. So I signed on to see what Marsha and you are doing.
Yeah.
So that I know, and as long as my sous chef David agrees out, because every time I cook, he has to go behind me to close all of the door. So
that's terrific. Do you put parsnips in yours? Because this group has decided they love parsnips.
Oh, they love parsnips?
Yeah. It's the first time they're cooking with it, but Marsha told us that she really likes her chicken soup with parsnips. So do you use
No parsnips, but there's a Vietnamese vegetable that's like it called daikon.
Ah, we learned about daikon at your house for the cooking class that we did.
That's right.
Daikon can be in the
soup.
Yeah, in the pho. Yeah.
Yeah, I make pho too. I make homemade pho nowadays.
Oh, let's do that.
It's so easy.
Can we do that?
I can show you how to make pho, but I thought that so it doesn't have to be vegan then.
No. No. In fact, before we let you go, I will tell you all, and this may influence what you want to make, but it doesn't have to. We are cooking in 2 more weeks, I think, after today, the 20th. We're cooking a chicken soup with a famous musician, Zayshan B. If you all do not yet know Zayshan B, get on your Spotify or your Apple Music or whatever you listen to and bring him up. He's fantastic. He's soulful. He rocks. I heard him singing some opera the other day. So get on and listen to Zayshan B. And on the 20th, sign on. We're going to cook with him. He'll probably make it a little bit more musical than we're used to, and that'll be a lot of fun.
So maybe Marsha and I let the lady doc know, and we all join you guys.
Oh, please do. Everybody is welcome. It's going to be a party. Next week, we're cooking a different kind of butternut squash soup, so come in for that too. And then next week, everybody, please do sign on and tell us how this soup ended up, since we're not going to get to hear all of you tasting it and saying, that was fantastic.
I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
You know, one more thing is with the, if it's not cooking much, you might want to leave the lid on. We had this lid on, lid off thing. Leave the lid on to make it cook a little faster.
One quick question about the butternut. Obviously, I haven't started my soup yet. A friend of mine was telling me about making a butternut squash where she roasted the butternut squash first in the oven. Does that sound like an option, or would you not recommend it for this?
No, I think it would be delicious. It's just one more step, you know, but.
And the parsnips and parsnips.
And that's what in the Barefoot Contessa recipe, they're all roasted vegetables that ultimately get pureed, including the butternut squash, and it's fabulous.
Butternut squash cooks very quickly in the oven. It's amazing how fast it cooks.
With parsnips.
Betsy, maybe will you make that with us once?
It may be too easy, but I'm happy.
If you
Okay, we can talk about it, absolutely. And Sherry and David are also wonderful cooks, and Miriam as well. So maybe from my cohort, we can have some more recipes.
That would be terrific. We would love to branch out if anybody has a favorite recipe. Bring it to us. And I think we're going to have to let everybody go. We don't want to keep you too long and cut into your Saturday nights. Marsha, any final words? Marsha,
Right.
no?
No, just enjoy.
Thank you.
Great seeing everybody.
Thank
you so much. This was great.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hopefully I'll see you back. Have a good
Bye.
week.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care and stay safe.
Bye.